Okay, we're looking at Dante playing Anna on PC on King's Row, and this is Bronze 5, which is interesting. That's the lowest possible rank for those who aren't aware. I got the gold support on console, but I switched to PC and am now hard stuck in low bronze. Maybe the aim assist was just carrying me. I tend to main Anna, but will switch to BAP slash Kiriko depending on the situation. I know the only common factor in all my losses is me, so I must be mucking up somewhere. But generally, I'm unsure where am I going so wrong. I always feel as though I'm doing okay, and I've watched lots of other people's VOD reviews and guides for my mains. I try to emulate that, but must be going somewhere as I still can't climb. When solo reviewing my own VODs, I can't really identify the mistakes I'm making, besides certain obvious ones, i.e. trying too hard to save someone who's out of position, resulting in me also dying. Probably as I'm not good enough to actually realize what are/aren't mistakes. I picked this replay as it was a close game where we just lost, and I felt as though it was an average game for me where I wasn't playing any better/worse than usual. Having a better player watch the VOD who has more knowledge than me and can better identify the mistakes I'm making would be amazing. Any tips that can help me break this losing streak and climb out of bronze would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's watch this game. I mean, it's bronze 5, so obviously I'm gonna calibrate expectations here. But I already took a quick look through it, and I think you are better than this rank. I'm actually surprised that you're bronze 5 because it doesn't feel that bad to me. So I think positive thoughts from there. But you do make a bunch of like really obvious, like easy to clean up mistakes, and we're gonna. Oh, I turn the sound down. All right. So for starters, you're way too close right now, right? Just positioning wise, the Arisa's right here. She can do a lot of damage to you in a very short amount of time, right? She does a little bit of damage, throws a javelin, does more damage, and then you die. There's no reason to be playing this close, okay? If you're gonna peek this angle, like at least peek like back here or something, or like here as cover, or this angle maybe, or just play behind the Rhine here, which I think is totally legitimate. I don't think you have to be standing here. It's not your job to force through the choke. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be the one who's putting pressure to get you through the choke. You can literally just play behind your Rhine and let your Rhine do it. It's kind of your Rhine's job. Okay. So you're over here. So when you throw grenades, this is my dominant advice for Anna. Throw grenades to hit the enemy. If at all possible, try never to throw a grenade that only hits your teammates / yourself. If you have to, you have to, right? And splashing them, your teammates, and the enemy is great. That's perfect. But for the most part, make sure that every grenade hits an enemy. So this is good that a grenade hits the enemy. You should also think the next step, which is after the grenade hits the enemy, can anyone on my team actually do anything about it, right? Otherwise, your grenade only does, I think, like 50 damage or something like that, right? Basically 50 damage. So you've splashed this Orisa, but the Orisa is behind cover and has all of her defensive cooldowns. So there's no follow-up here. You know what I mean? Like, let's play this out. Does the Orisa die here? No, she just spins. Nothing happens here as a result of this grenade. The grenade lasts a long time. You see it's still up right now, several seconds later. But it made no difference. And now you wasted grenade, and you don't have it for when you need it, for the next 6 seconds. And again, notice that you are like face tanking this Orisa and taking a ton of damage. You're already down 60 health, okay? Which means that you could possibly die here. So, important moment right here. Your Rhine has gone in, all right? All this posturing that you did before, all of that was meaningless, okay? Starting from this point right here, 56 seconds, okay? Everything you do here doesn't do anything. It doesn't matter at all, right? Nothing matters until your Rhine goes in, right? So you've now wasted 8 seconds of time and taken 70 damage, right? And now, when your Rhine goes in, the moment where your Rhine finally is like, okay, time to go in, now you only have 5 shots, and let's see what happens to you, okay? Your Rhine goes in. I think this maybe heals the Rhine. That definitely doesn't heal the Rhine. It hits the Zen, which I do not think was your intention, right? That hits the Orisa, who's fortified, so it's not doing any damage. And now your Rhine is incredibly low, and you're out of ammo, okay? So you see that your Rhine is nearly dead, and you wasted all that time, your health and your ammunition, doing nothing. Versus, if you had ammunition and had just simply healed your Rhine the whole time, your Rhine could have just walked over the Orisa and won this point, right? I really want to highlight is that the stuff you're doing, like you need to understand like what your job is as a support, okay? And there's like the awkward perspective where it's like awkward being the player who's like, oh, like you can DPS your way to GM or whatever, which I agree with. I think it's certainly possible, but I don't think that's a good advice in general for people, especially people who don't have good aim, compared to just healing your teammates, in particular your tank. I think if you just heal your tank here the whole time, if you've reloaded at 15 ammo, and as soon as your Rhine goes in, you just heal your Rhine non-stop, you win this fight. Probably. That's my take on this. So again, your Ryan has no health right now, so he's either gonna die or it's gonna have to retreat. Your Ryan goes in despite the fact that he's super low. Now, first of all, let's point out the dynamite. So I assume this is because you're relatively new and you don't realize how dangerous dynamite is. So the moment the dynamite goes off, dynamite does 50 damage on impact and then 100 burn damage after that. So you at 110 health are going to be left with 10 health when this ends. Well, how do you deal with that? Number one is that you could grenade yourself, right? Number two is that you could get this health pack, right? Or number three, the Mercy could heal you, but I don't think the Mercy is going to heal you at this rank. So the right call here, especially with how low the Ryan is simply the grenade right here and heal everybody, right? And clears all the burn damage. But definitely we recognize that if you decide not to clear your burn damage, which is a reasonable option here, you will be super low, so you have to play very, very careful after that. Now, you don't do any of those things. Notice how you have to reload at a critical moment because you wasted all those shots earlier. You throw the grenade doesn't land because the Orisa spins and absorbs it, right? So watch the grenade. You throw the grenade, and you see how it goes to the Orisa, and she absorbs it. It would have been a good grenade, generally speaking, except for the fact that the Orisa spin. All you had to do here was to throw it behind your Rhine a little bit. Right, right, putting it like right here. And that way you'll heal your Rhine and the Orisa, and you run a lower risk of the Orisa absorbing that grenade. Okay. So your Rhine gets out super low, and then what happens from here? Okay. So note that you don't heal your Mercy either, who by the way is burning. Right? Which is understandable because your Rhine's about to die. Mercy dies because she's low. And you're gonna die right after that. So we have watched basically 20 seconds of gameplay. Okay, let's watch from the very beginning. All right, from the very beginning, and just think about what your value is. All right, Widow's killed 2. Right, so this is already should be a 1 fight basically. All right, you waste the grenade. You're sitting around with 8 ammo right now. You're at 5 ammo. Your Rhine finally goes in. You don't have any ammo for your Rhine. You're not healing your Rhine. Right, now you need to reload at a critical moment. Then you're gonna waste a grenade. You don't heal your Mercy. And then you die because you overextend because you're super low. Right? You have 1 health right there, and then your Mercy dies too. So, and I know you're new, right? I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm trying to demonstrate that in only 20 seconds of gameplay, we can see how many different things you could have done differently to win this fight. Right? If I told you to literally ignore the whole world, anything that's going on, and just sit right here healing your Rhine, and when he goes around the corner, go around the corner as well and keep healing the Rhine, you would have won this fight. That's all you had to do, right? I didn't need you to hit any shots. I don't need you to hit any sleeps. In fact, I don't even think you need to throw a grenade. I think even if you didn't throw a grenade here, if you threw 0 grenades, I think you still would have won this fight. But if all you recognized, and I think that's probably one of the biggest overall themes I can tell you, is what do you actually need to do here to win a fight? Because Bronze 5, you probably don't know, right? You probably don't recognize is that in this situation where they're already down 2, they rest 1, right? But they're down 2, and you see that the Reaper's killing their team off too, right? In the situation they're already down 2, all you do is keep your tank alive, and the fight is won. That's all you had to do, okay? But instead, you're trying to like do more than that. You're trying to like get a pick on the Orisa. You throw that early grenade, right? Then you like are messing around a little bit. You don't heal your Rhine. Like that's all you had to do here was just sit here, heal your Rhine like a heal bot, follow him in, heal. Fight's over. That's it. That's all you had to do, and you would have won the fight. So your DPS are carrying. I think they end up pushing and taking the point anyway. Great. I think his aim's actually pretty good. At this, at this point right now, at least, when you're not under pressure, it does not feel bronze level for sure. I think that could easily be a low gold, and I wouldn't win this at all, right? All right. So Orisa goes in, and you're trying to use sleep to hit the Orisa. All right, so once again, Orisa uses spin, and you throw a grenade into it. You need to know what other characters' abilities are. So just know that Orisa has a spin that absorbs grenades. That's the 3rd grenade, or it's actually the 2nd grenade that she's absorbed this game, and it's only been 1 minute. So you have to recognize, like, I tried to do thing, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? You need to know like the action and the consequence, right? You try to do a thing, it didn't happen, why not? And then react to that. Because that's actually going to be a common theme later on where you're just not going to change your behavior at all based on what has happened to you in the past. You're almost like a robot in that sense. You're like, hey, I always do X when Y happens, even if it was not a good idea the last 3 times I do it, I will do the exact same thing over and over again. So Orisa pops Fortify. You throw Sleep, you miss, but even if you hit Orisa, it wouldn't have worked because she has Fortify. So I encourage you, if you don't know what people's abilities do, that you should read the wiki page for all the different heroes, especially ones you encounter regularly, right? Like you probably don't run into Symmetra that often, you know? But like Orisa, you're probably going to run to all the time. So you should probably learn how Orisa works. Okay, so the next thing I would note is that you're way too close in this situation. You don't need to be this close, okay? You could be playing, for example, right here, which would be very, very safe. You could be playing right here, which would be safer, okay? Don't play this close to the enemy. There's no reason for it, okay? You have a ranged weapon. You don't want to play close to people if you don't have to. Okay, try to kill the Mercy. I would encourage you not to focus that much. Like, she's in the back. Like, toss her a heal and then just go back and focus on the front because you don't want the front to get walked over while you're trying to heal the Mercy. Alright, so your Ryan is not doing the right thing here. Your Ryan's doing a Soul Shatter all the way out there without you being there. I don't think there's a lot that you can do in this situation. I don't think that this is anything on you. I would probably step up right now. I do not throw that grenade. Okay, so remember what I said. Don't throw grenades at teammates. Or don't throw grenades exclusively at teammates, okay? Your Ryan's 2/3 health, not like instantly gonna die here. And he has shield and he's next to cover. You don't need to throw this grenade, just heal him. Right? Now you're not gonna have grenade for the next 10 seconds. Alright. Reaper kills 2, Ryan kills 1. Alright, so DPS is just carrying. You basically don't need to do anything in this game. Okay, so Bob comes in. But let's watch what happens when this Bob comes in. Alright, so clearly this fight's gonna happen. One thing that's really important as a support is to understand where your tank is gonna go. Okay? This cart is about to go right here and stop. Alright? Do you think your Ryan is gonna run over here? No. Why? Because the Ryan doesn't need to. The Ryan only needs to prevent them from stopping the cart here, okay? So the Ryan might run like up to this point maybe, but the Ryan's not going to turn the corner and like, you know, head to the hills. So you're stepping forward, way too far forward here, okay? You should be playing behind the cart right here or at this angle to heal the Ryan, all right? You walking forward exposes you to more danger unnecessarily. Then you throw a grenade. Is that grenade needed? Or actually, that's not a grenade. That's a Venom Mine. Fine. Ignore the grenade. not great. Okay, so things are getting dicey right now. Bob comes in to contest the cart. Okay, and we're not even going to worry about ult tracking because at Bronze 5, I don't care about ult tracking at all. So Bob comes in. You see the Bob coming. Okay, you see the Bob coming, and what do? You walk and you run into the Bob, which lifts you up in the air, which is not good. It also deals damage to you. Now you're in trouble. Okay, do you know to sleep? You do. Good. You barely hit him. That's fine. Ryan also charged him. That's fine. Oh, that's a put question mark to sleep, or parentheses. So now you're trying to navigate to safety, but you just kind of wiggle and against this light post for a little bit. You see? You get stuck on the light post on the geometry for a little bit, and you just kind of need to know like spatial awareness what's going on. Then you get sucked in by the Orisa. And then what's happening while you're sucked in by the Orisa? You're going to shoot the Orisa and then take a ton of damage and you die. Okay? So, a few things. Number 1, I would like you to note that you died to the Orisa Terror Surge. And why did you die? Because the Orisa got close to you. Okay? Because the Orisa, again, pulls people in and ulties. But if you were outside of this, you never would have been pulled in. So, note that, because it's going to become relevant later. So, number 2. When you get pulled in by Orisa Terror Surge, it charges from 0 damage, well 1 damage really, all the way up to 500 damage. So you must escape it, or you must disable her in some way. Well, actually I would say you have to kill her. It's impossible to disable her because she runs Fortify, so none of the crowd control or movement abilities will affect her. So she's definitely getting it off no matter what, unless somebody kills her. It's almost impossible to kill Orisas in Terror Surge, because they have Fortify, so it reduces their damage by half, and they have no headshot hitbox anymore. And typically they get healing. It is possible sometimes, but typically it is impossible to kill Orisa while she's Terror Surging. So your goal should be to get away. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but if you walk backwards in Overwatch, you move 10% slower than if you walk forwards. So if your priority is to get out of the spot, you should turn and then walk away. Right? That is what you should do. That is the correct response to Terror Surge. Right? Get sucked in, you should turn right now and walk away. Let's look at what your shooting accomplished, okay? Did your shooting do anything of any value whatsoever? All right, look at her health. Look at her health. Okay, so you shoot 3 darts into her, 524. Right? She ended with more health than she started with, despite the fact that you grenaded her and shot her with 3 darts. All right? That's why I say it's really not relevant at all to try to shoot Orisa when she is using Fortify/Terror Surge. Okay? You should have, A, just gotten out of there. Well, first of all, not been in range to get sucked in. But A, turn and run away. But B, I would also toss a heal on your Mercy. Right? Because you see your Mercy's low, and generally speaking, you can run out of Orisa ulti if you are not inhibited in any other way, and you will live before she can kill you with it. Okay? I'm going to repeat that one more time. If you are a 200 health hero, and you get sucked in by Orisa, and you have your full health when you got sucked in, and nobody else hits you or slows you in any way, you can virtually always just run out right away, and you will not die. If she pops it right at the edge, you'll take like 150-ish damage, right? But you won't die. So your instinct here should just be turn and run right away. The other option is to line of sight her, okay? So you could, for example, run behind the cart, and that would also save you. But doing the thing where you back away like this, shooting, is the worst possible option. But the reason why I mentioned heal at Mercy is because, again, if she just simply runs out of the field, she will live if she gets a little more healing. But at this health level, she will die. The problem here is the Bastion's going to kill you all anyway. But I'm just telling you, this is the correct reaction to Terror Surge. All right. So you're going to die here. Fire. Run it back. By the way, I think you had Nano that entire time. Right? So right now when your ride's in, that would have been a good time to Nano. But for a variety of reasons, it actually wouldn't have worked out because your ride charges backwards. Okay, so you have Nano. Nano charges very quickly, so don't be afraid to use Nano. Alright, see? This is actually perfectly fine support play. It might feel like nothing's happening, but that's okay, because your tank is waiting for stuff, right? Your tank is waiting, for example, for more Coalescence to end before pushing. That's totally okay. You're doing your job right now, okay? You don't need to, like, go out and make a crazy play or anything. Just keeping everybody alive. No. Yeah, so that's a mechanics issue, right? So you miss multiple darts, you get spooked, and you throw a grenade. And now you don't have grenade for when this fight actually happens in earnest. Right? So that distraction also means that you lose track of your ride. Right? This dynamite comes in. It's gonna pop, right? Both of them get low, and let's watch the Rhine here, okay? Because the Rhine is like, now is my time to go in, because the Rhine doesn't realize that dynamite just got popped, so the Rhine is kind of out of sync with you, okay? These people are all burning to death. You see how much damage your Rhine has taken, and then your Rhine's like, wait a second, I am super low. Where's my healing? Comes back, and now you pop Nano. The problem is you see this gap now between him and the Orisa. Now he can't do anything. You should have popped Nano when he was here. Right? When he was up in their face right here, that's when you should have popped Nano, when he's swinging and killing everybody. Okay? That would have won the fight right there if you popped Nano. Right? Again, how could you have known that? Well, I think, number one, the priority is simply to stay on your ride. Okay? I would have tossed them like 1 dart each and just kept staying on the ride. Alright? Because your Mercy's still here, and your Mercy's job really is to pocket the DPS. Your job is to pocket the tank. Alright, so now you pop Nano, but the problem is your Rhine is too far away. Okay? Can your Rhine do anything? You see how everyone's just kiting the Rhine? The Rhine's not doing anything with this Nano. Right? Like, all he does is just walk forward, which he could have done anyway, without the Nano. You end up winning this fight, mostly because of your DPS cleanup, but I'm just noting that that was not a good deal. Alright, you're a little slow in the bob. That's okay. Right? You knew what to do. Rhine's trying to back up here. You've already capped the point, I think. Yeah, you capped the point, so great. So, again, your tank goes forward, you go forwards. Your tank goes backwards, you go backwards. Let's look at your movement here. Tank goes up, you have to come up. Okay? The tank is backing up right now. Right? You run to the corner, which is the correct move. You did the right thing here, getting to the corner to try to help your Rhine. Right? Then, right here, you can see your tank has shield up and is backing up and is low. You see how you're continuing to walk forwards? Right? And now you're walking forwards again. You should be backing the whole time here, right? You should have been like over... Instead of here, you should have been like over here at this point in time, right? And hugging the corner, okay? Because again, you're just not synced up well with when you're right. Now you're going forwards again, right? Why are you going forwards? What has caused you to decide, hey, this is the moment for me to personally aggress the enemy team, right? So watching again, because you're going forwards right now, right? I don't even know if you're aware of it mentally. Like you might just be holding W without realizing it. Now you start going forward. Your Rhine shield's about to break. Why would you step forwards right now? You also don't have grenade. Okay? So again, you try to shoot the reset. That's not the right call here. Just heal your Rhine. Right? Mercy goes for res. It would have been, I would say, probably a diamond level play to sleep this corner of the cart because you would have caught a reset here for sure. All right, you throw another grenade. Did you need to throw that grenade?
We cut the pain.
Right? Did you need to throw that grenade? Damn, it's really hard for me to stop in time. Did I miss it already? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Short answer is no, you didn't need to throw a grenade. I was trying to demonstrate, but that exact timing is a little tricky to hit. But the short answer is you did not need to throw that grenade. Okay, so now you've wasted grenade again. Right. And once again, you notice how you are playing on top of the Rhine. And I keep telling you, you want to play 10 to 15 meters back. Okay, roughly this distance is a good distance to be playing against with the Rhine. Here, way too close. And you notice how everyone's just kind of eating the same spam together because of this. Right? Now you throw a grenade, which you didn't need, and now you don't have nade for it. And what happens? So the Orisa comes in, right? The Orisa, who was right here the whole time, comes into the middle of your team because you were too close. Again, if you were over here, you would be totally safe from this. But instead you're here. Orisa comes into your team. He's going to suck everybody in. And then kills you with Terror Search again. Okay? So that's now twice that you've died to Terror Search. Okay? You're not dying to other random things, which is good, right? You're not getting sniped by the Ash. You're not dying to spam, etc. You're getting killed by Terror Search. So in the interest of making you a better player, right? Or better anything, right? If you're trying to learn a skill, you should recognize when I fail, and I count dying typically as failing. When I fail, why did I fail? And how could I avoid failing again? Right? You died both times to Terror Search from being too close. All right? And let's see whether or not you adjust to that. All right, so here we go again. Ryan's nanoed. I'm going to, by the way, like, obviously I spot, like, lots of things that you could be doing differently, but it's not, just in the interest of not being overwhelming, I'm just not going to note them because there's, like, a limit to how much I think you could possibly absorb at this point in time. Right? You really should have saved that soldier. Right? You really, really should have saved that soldier. Who was low. Also, again, notice how you're not healing the Rhine, right? That soldier slept. Don't worry about him. It's not your job to kill the soldier. It's your job to heal the tank, right? The Rhine's here. He's slowly getting killed. He gets no healing from his supports. And then you guys get walked over, okay? So again, really basic stuff. Just keep the tank alive, right? If you keep the tank alive, they will often just carry games for you just from the fact that they don't die. If your tank doesn't die, pretty much by definition, you have to win the game. All right. They pop Bob. It's not a good Bob. Alright. Big shatter. Unfortunately, so one thing to think about. So remember that your grenade is going to get blocked by teammates. So you need to get a little more space here. Have your Rhine open up before you throw that nade. You didn't need to throw it this early, this soon, right? Your Ryan was full health. It's fine. You had time. Great. Risa dies. So again, this is a great example where it's like, okay, what do I do? My Ryan is in and needs healing, but the Orisa's in my face. What do I do? The short answer is don't try to go out and heal your Ryan. Okay, the Orisa is too big of a threat right now. It will kill you too quickly. You must deal with the Orisa, which probably means going backwards here and using your team to kill the Orisa. If Ryan dies in there, that's Ryan's fault. Okay, Ryan's not within the line of sight right now. That is not your responsibility to try to save your Ryan there. Okay, so you decide that you really want to try to save your Ryan, which is funny considering all the other times that your Ryan should have died or should have lived and you didn't heal your Ryan. Okay, you pop Nano. Let's look at this situation. Okay, look at when your Ryan gets Nano here. Ryan is a close range hero. Okay, we can all agree that Ryan is a hammer. He's a close range hero. Do you see anybody here that he can attack? Right? The Mercy is in the air, so that doesn't count. Is there anybody here this Ryan can attack? No. Right? This is a bad Nano. This is a really, really bad Nano. The Ryan can't do anything with this Nano, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Right? Ryan charges, gets knocked off, and dies. That's actually a good coach gun. I probably would have done the same thing. I would not have thought of that coach gun interaction in that way, right? But again, totally wasted Nano. No reason to give your Ryan Nano there. Okay, so we're gonna try again. Okay, that's an okay grenade, right? But again, nobody is here to follow up, and I don't think you realize that. I don't think you have any awareness of like where your teammates are. Okay, your soldier is dead, right? And I think, yeah, your soldier and your Junkrat are dead. So unless your Ryan can swing and hit this Ashe, this isn't going to count to anything. Okay, so again, you notice that you get creeping closer and closer to the Ryan. Right? There's no reason. You don't need to play this far up. Like you can play like here, for example. You know the Moira is to your left, okay? So you might want to play here to prevent her from getting line of sight on you. Again, you can shoot people who are far away. All right. Now look where you are. For some reason, the other members of your team, your soldier and Mercy, have managed to play over here in a safe spot. Right? Orisa is ultimately a close range hero. Even though she has a gun, she is a close range hero. You have decided to play over here on the cart. Right? And now you're in a lot more danger. Again, playing super close on the cart. For some reason, you're trying to fight people. Okay, you've gotten super low. You're extremely lucky to not have been killed by now. Bob is here. You grenade the Bob for some reason, as though Bob has 1,000 health. So preventing him getting healing is usually not the issue. Players get healed, not Bob. Right? It's okay, grenade. And then Reese is shooting at you. This is the right call, right? Right call for you to back up here. Hero Surge goes off. You don't get pulled into Hero Surge. Okay, so this is a critical moment in the game. All right? This is a really common, like, last point, their spawn doors are right there, people trickling in. How do we win this? The key thing here is to kill the supports. Don't kill the Orisa, shoot the Mercy. Right? You're the only one here who can consistently kill the Mercy. The Ryan can't reach her, and your Mercy can't kill her with pistol, like, conceivably all that quickly. Okay? You 3-tap the Mercy, this fight is won. But if you keep trying to shoot the Orisa or heal your Ryan, who's at full health and being double pocketed, this fight is going to go on forever. Okay? You grenade, I think it's reasonable. I think a Nano here, I think is also reasonable. Right? Orisa finally dies. Fair's in the air. You kind of need to play your life right now. I don't think you need to step forward to the cart. Okay? Because there's people here. It's not going to win anyway. I think number one priority is for you to stay alive, which does not happen. You get knocked off. But you can. Great. I'll take it. So, in the interest of time, I'm not going to watch the second half. Okay? But what I want to highlight here is, number one, there are so many things in your control that you can do to win games. Like, little things everywhere, right? I could dissect 20 seconds of your gameplay for literally 10 minutes, talking about all the different things that you could do better, right? So don't feel like, oh, I'm like helpless and like, what could I possibly do? Seriously, like every little decision you make, you could do better at, right? And hopefully this video will help in some way. That's one. Number two, heal your tank. It's like not all heroes heal tanks. Most supports heal tanks. Okay, heal your tank. Your tank is the only role that expects healing to do their job. DPS sort of need healing to do their job. Your tank must have healing. Almost all tanks must have healing to do their job. Okay, heal your tank more, and they can carry you to wins all the time. Number 2. Okay, number 3. Grenade usage in particular needs a lot of work. Right? I already talked about it, but basically you need to find the right times to throw grenades. Number 4 is your general positioning. In particular, how close you play to the front line. You are often too close to the front line. If we keep watching, I am sure we will find more examples of you getting pulled into Terra Surge and dying because of how it happens already at the very beginning. Right? Like I'm pretty sure this is gonna keep happening as like a regular pattern. You are consistently playing too close to the Orisa. Right? Goes into you, pulls you in, and goes. Right? Every time, too close. Right? Way too close. And that's how you get it. You have to be more than one spin away in order to survive. Okay, hopefully this is helpful.